This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, good morning, everybody. So, in the previous class, we have looked into the wounds produced by the firearms, and then we have seen there will be two types of wounds that are produced. One is an entrance wound and an exit wound, and then there is a track between an entrance and an exit wound. Uh, and we have seen the main thing is what are the different aspects of a normal firing, and then each one producing its effects. So first we know that it is the bullet that will move forward, first of all, which is having high mass or high weight uh, among the cartridge. And then the next one to come out is the unburned powder. And the next one is the smoke. And then finally the fire or the flame. So the bullet wound will cause the perforating injury. And then the unburned powders. Unburned powder is nothing but the gunpowder which has not been completely burnt. So it contains some amount of mass which are like fine grain, and then this unburned powder has the same velocity or almost the same velocity like bullet, and then each one will act as a missile, and then it will enter into the dermis, leading to formation of tattoo or peppering. And then the next one is completely burned gunpowder will cause formation of smoke, and this smoke will cause blackening of the skin, and then we can easily clean this smoke area with a wet sponge. And then finally the flame will come from the barrel of the gun, and then this flame will cause burning and singeing of the hair. So this is at the entrance wound. The flame will cause burning, the smoke will cause blackening, and then the unburned powders will cause tattooing or peppering. So this we have seen that the unburned powder will be driven inside the dermis, causing the tattooing and or peppering, and then the burnt gunpowder particles, the completely burnt gunpowder particles, which leads to formation of smoke, which is of lighter weight, will be causing blackening of the skin, which can be easily wiped out. So these are some of the things which have looked, and then we have seen at what distance all these are produced, and we have seen this rule of 3. Rule of 3 is where, if you remember, 3 inches at the first table, you can see this, watch this table, and then you have to multiply it with into 2 for rifles, and then into 2 for shotguns, and then for burning and singeing this is starting 3 inches, and then for blackening you have to multiply, and then for tattooing you have to multiply for thrice. So if you can remember each one, remember only the 3-inch, then the whole table can be easily drawn by this remember. So this is known as rule of 3 table for knowing the distance up to which the blackening and singeing can be found, the distance up to which the tattooing can be found in relation to the different weapons that are used. So for pistols and revolvers, and for rifles and for shotguns. So ranges we have seen about hard contact, near contact, intermediate range, and then distance range. We have seen hard contact range has 4 different types. You can see hard contact, loose contact, angle contact, and incomplete contact. So hard contact, we have known that when the muzzle end of the gun is held tightly against the skin of the deceased person or the skin of the person, and then when you fire it, the muzzle end of the gun is held so tightly against the skin that there is no escape of gases. In that case, the whole, it will cause the perforating injury, and then the whole gases, the fire, and every unburned powder will enter the perforating injury, leading to formation of this. You can see here the second one, the diagram. So there is shearing of the skin. Only the surrounding collar of the wound is only produced, whereas the remaining periphery is not at all affected. So this is the example. And one more is loose contact. Loose contact where the muzzle end of the gun is held loosely against the skin. Thereby there is a small amount of escape of gases can be there. And then this causes blackening of the surrounding area. And because the fire can also go out a little bit, so there can be singeing of the air. And then tattooing can also be produced along with the formation of this perforating injury caused due to bullet. So this is the light contact. You can see the surrounding reddish area, which is due to burning. And then this is angulated contact wound, where one end of the uh, muzzle end of the gun barrel is held against the skin, and the other end is lifted up. So this is angulated, and then you can see a eccentric or elliptical shaped blackening of the area can be seen, and then shearing and also tattooing elliptical shaped picture can be produced here. This is another type, incomplete contact, where it is contact of the muzzle and in a contour like shoulder, where the contour is rounded, and then if you held the barrel of the gun, then these kind of elliptical shapes are produced, where there is more amount of singeing and blackening can be there. So near contact, we know that when is applied when the victim is within the range of flame. So intermediate contact, we have intermediate range is applied when the victim is within the range of tattooing. And then distance range is when the victim is out of the range of flame or blackening or tattooing. So only there is perforating injury. So there is no any blackening or tattooing or burning. So you have to remember this table, very important. So all these previous slides are for the shotgun, sorry, for the rifled firearms. Now we are dealing with shotgun. So shotgun, if it is held tightly against the skin, this kind of stellate shaped injuries can be produced. Stellate shaped, lacerated, perforating injuries can be produced. There is split wounds from the contact, and then there can be burning, tattooing of the surrounding area. If the victim is about few centimeters away from the muzzle end of the gun, then a round wounds can be produced, a round contact wounds can be produced. And if the victim is about 30 centimeters from the muzzle end of the gun, and then again a little bit round wounds which are of larger size can be produced. And then if the victim is at 2 meters from the muzzle end of the gun, then a rat hole deformity is produced. A rat hole deformity, why the name is given like rat hole, means as if the rat has a nibbled surface. So as if the rat has eaten the surface area, so it looks like a rat. So rat hole deformity is seen at 2 meters from the muzzle end of the shotgun. And then satellite lesions, satellite wounds are produced where there is a one central large hole or perforating injury, and then surrounding small injuries which are caused due to pellets. So it occurs when the victim is about 2 to 4 meters distance. So satellite lesions at 2 to 4 meter distance, and then at beyond 4 meters, the central hole disappears, and only the satellite small perforating injuries are produced. And then the distance between each perforating injury caused due to pellets will increase beyond 6 meters. So this chart you have to remember, and you have to read them. It has been asked many times in the examinations. So that's all. So we will now go to a new chapter. Okay, right. So forensic psychiatry, a very important topic again. So one question is guaranteed in your examination. In forensic psychiatry, one question, either 4 marks or either 2 marks, is guaranteed in the examination point of view, and also in practical aspect, in your day-to-day aspect, in your future aspect. uh, this forensic psychiatry is very, very essential. So by definition, what is psychiatry? So psychiatry, it deals with the study, diagnosis, and treatment of mental illness. So forensic psychiatry deals with study, diagnosis, and treatment of mental illness. Forensic psychiatry deals with application of psychiatry in the administration of justice. So the different kinds and different degrees of mental impairment are required for different legal issues. So forensic psychiatry, by definition, it deals with the application of the knowledge of psychiatry in the administration of justice. So what is insanity? Insanity is nothing but unsoundness of mind. Insanity is non-compos mentis. Compos mentis we have studied in the earlier chapters of medical law and ethics, where a person need to be a doctor should certify the person that the person is having a good mentality. Compos mentis, having a good mentality while giving the dying declaration or dying deposition. So whenever the person doesn't have this compos mentis, then we call it as non-compos mentis, where his mentality is not good, is not stable, where the orientation of time, space, person is absent. So then we call it as non-compos mentis, otherwise called as unsoundness of mind, otherwise called as insanity. So when a person suffers from some disease of mind, as a result of which his mental faculties means thinking, so his mental power or mental thinking faculties means, so his mental faculties, functions or emotions manifest abnormal, then he is said to be an insane person. So who is an insane person? When a person suffers from some disease of mind, as a result of which his mental faculties, functions, or emotions manifest abnormally, then he is said to be insane. So law presumes that everyone is sane, but insanity must be proved to the satisfaction of the court. So it is very difficult to diagnose insane person. So the law, in the court of law, the judge assumes that everyone is having a normal mentality. So everyone is everyone is a sane person, unless you need to prove to the court. Abnormal manifestations of psychiatric illness. So these are the abnormal manifestations: delusions, hallucinations, illusion, impulse, obsession, phobia, and delirium. So abnormal manifestations of psychiatric illness: delusion, hallucination, illusion, impulse, obsession, phobia, and delirium. So we will look into each one. So mostly we will look into about 4 or 5, and then if time permits, we'll look. Otherwise, we will look into the other classes in the next class. First one is delusion. What is delusion? Delusion is false belief. It is a false belief contrary to the fact, and it persists even after its falsity has been proved, and it will have force of conviction. So here delusion means it is a false belief, and the person believes the falsity even after proving its falsity. So the problem in delusion is everybody has the false beliefs, but a normal person will again revert back to the normal condition whenever the falsity is proved. But here in a mentally insane person, the person will not believe even that falsity of the false belief is proved it. So delusion means false belief contrary to the fact, and it persists even after its falsity has been proved to him. So what are the types of delusions? Number one is delusions of grandeur or exaltation. Here, the person imagines that he is a king and he is a rich person even though he is a beggar on the road. So actually the person is a beggar, but he imagines that he is a king of the world. So such type of nature is known as delusions of grandeur or exaltation. Next, delusions of persecution. Here the person believes that the people are planning to poison him or kill him. He reacts with suspicion to every word of his near people. So the person believes that everyone is planning to kill, even there are people who are talking to each other. So this fellows feels that the two people are talking, are planning in order to kill this person. So that is known as delusions of persecution. What is delusions of infidelity? Next, a person believes that his wife is not faithful to him, even though she is of good character and conduct. So delusions of infidelity, where the person believes that his wife is not faithful to him, even though she is of good character and conduct. Nihilistic delusions. A person imagines that his body is no more and everything is ending. So he believes that he imagines that his body is no more and everything is ending. So such a nature, such a delusions we call it as nihilistic delusions. Delusions of jealousy. A person believes that everyone is of jealous of his achievements even though he has done nothing. Normally jealousy is a normal thing. So jealousy is most commonly seen in children and also adults also. So whenever a person has a jealousy is normal thing. But why it is a delusion means even without achieving anything, the person believes that he has achieved something. So that is a problem. So he has not achieved anything, he has not done anything, but he believes that he has achieved so much. So that is known as delusions of jealousy. And then delusions of self-reproach. A person feels that he has done many sins. Due to that, his career ends. In fact, he has good conduct and bright achievements in past. So this is known as self-reproach, where the person feels that he has done many sins and his career is ending, but in fact he is a very nice person. Delusions of influence. In this, the person believes that every action and thought of him is controlled by outside agency like newspapers or telepathy or hypnotism or any TV programs. So he thinks that his thoughts and actions are influenced by these media things. Such delusions are known as delusions of influence. Next, hypochondriac delusions. So here the people believe, the person believes that something is wrong with his body and it cannot be corrected though he is an healthy person. So he has a false belief that something is wrong with his body. In fact, he is a very healthy person. So such delusions are known as hypochondriac delusions. Delusions of religion. A person believes that he is a representative of God and all the actions performed are directions of the God. So these are known as delusions of religion. And then reference. In reference, the person believes that every strangers are looking and talking about him, so that they refer to the person in a special way. So this person feels that any group of people or two friends are talking, he thinks that the two people are talking about him only. So this is known as delusions of reference. So these are different types, very important. Delusion is a false belief, It is a delusion of grandeur and exaltation, where he feels that he is a king, in fact he is a beggar. Delusions of persecution, where he thinks that everybody is planning to kill him and poisoning him. Delusions of infidelity, he believes that his wife is not faithful, in fact she is a very nice person. Delusions of nihilistic nature, where he believes that his body is no more and he is separated from his body and everything is ending. Delusions of jealousy, a person believes that everyone is jealous of his achievements, in fact nothing he has done or nothing he has achieved. Delusions of self reproach, where the person believes that he has done many sins and his career is ending, in fact he is a very good person. Delusions of influence, where he thinks that his thoughts and actions are influenced by the outside agents like newspaper, telepathy and hypnotism. Delusions, hypochondriac delusions, where he thinks that something is wrong with his body, in fact he is a very healthy person. Delusions of religion, the person believes that he is a representative of God and all his actions are due to directions from the God. Delusions of reference, where the person believes that even strangers are looking and talking about him, about his nature. So these are some of the types of delusions. And delusion is a false belief about something where he believes on it even its falsity has been proved. What is the medical legal importance of this delusion? So delusion is never an isolated disorder. So it is always associated with some other psychiatric illness, but it is an indication of a deep-seated widespread disorder. For this reason, such person cannot be regarded as a fully responsible for his antisocial behavior. So if anybody is involved in any antisocial behavior, any crime or any unlawful activities, if the court finds that the person is suffering from delusions, then the court will say that he is not responsible for his actions because he doesn't know that the actions are going to have some bad effects for the society. So he doesn't know the implications for his actions. That's why the court regards that the person is not responsible for his actions, for his unlawful actions, if the person commits crime in delusions. Next one is hallucinations. Hallucinations, nothing but it is known as wandering of mind. Wandering of mind. It is a false sense of perception without any external object or stimulus to produce it. So delusion, we know that it is a false belief. Here it is a false sense of perception. False sense of perception. They are purely imaginary and they affect any senses. So there is a false sense of perception without any external object or stimulus to produce it. So these are the types of hallucinations. We have auditory hallucinations, visual hallucinations, olfactory hallucinations, gustatory hallucinations, and tactile hallucinations, psychomotor and sexual hallucinations. So first one is auditory hallucinations. Here the person hears voices even when there is absolute silence. So these voices can be pleasing as sometimes violent type. So as we know, hallucinations is false sense of perception. So there is no stimulus, but the person feels that he perceives some sense. So auditory, even though there is no voice, he feels that there is some voice that he is hearing. Visual hallucinations. Person imagines a ghost or beast when nothing is present. So he can see in a thing where he imagines a ghost. And then olfactory hallucinations, where smell is unpleasant when none is present. So nothing is there, but he senses some smell. Gustatory is where without any food in the mouth, he feels some good or bad taste. So auditory hallucinations, where he hears the sounds without any external stimulus. Visual, he sees some ghost. olfactory smells, gustatory taste something even there is nothing in the food anything. Tactile hallucinations. A person feels that some insects or ants are crawling over his body. In fact, there is nothing. So these tactile hallucinations can be seen in alcoholics patients. Alcoholics, we call it as delirium tremors, in the condition called delirium tremors, where a person can have kind of insect crawling under the skins or ants crawling on the skin, and also like a sand like texturing on the hands or on the skin. So this is known as tactile hallucination. Next, psychomotor hallucination. A person feels that some part of his body is moving even though no such thing is happening. And then sexual hallucinations, where the person feels that his penis is erected and orgasm has occurred even though there is nothing has happened. So this is some of the types of hallucinations where it is a false sense of perception without any external stimulus. We have different types like auditory, visual, olfactory, gustatory, tactile, psychomotor, and then sexual hallucination. Next one is illusion. What is meant by illusion? Illusion is false interpretation. Delusion means false belief. Hallucination means false sense of perception. Illusion means false interpretation. So by senses through external stimulus. So the external object or stimulus exists but falsely interpreted. So example is a rope is hanging on the tree and it is falsely perceived by the person as a snake. The stem of the tree is falsely perceived by the person as it is a ghost standing. So illusion. So the person comes with a dog to meet him, but the patient thinks that he has brought a lion to kill him. So external stimulus is there, but he feels there is a false interpretation. So instead of rope, he thinks it is a snake. Instead of a stem of the tree, he thinks it is a ghost. Instead of dog, he thinks it is a lion. So in illusion, there is external stimulus, whereas in hallucination, there is no external stimulus. Even without voice, he hears a voice. Even without any touch, he feels a sense of touch. What is an impulse? Impulse, by definition, it is a sudden, irresistible force compelling a person to the conscious performance of some action without knowing or forethought. So it is a sudden impulse, sudden, irresistible force compelling a person to the conscious performance of some action without knowing or forethought. So he doesn't know, but suddenly he requires to do some task without his force. That is known as impulse. It is a sudden, irresistible force compelling a person to the conscious performance of some action without knowing or forethought. A sane person is capable of controlling an impulse. An insane person has no judgment, no reasoning, and no capacity to understand the facts. So that's why the impulse is, the sane person can control his impulse situation, but an insane person cannot control it because he doesn't have any judgment, no reasoning, and no capacity to understand. So these impulse can be seen in a disease called acute mania and also in dementia. So what are these impulses? One is kleptomania. It is irresistible desire to steal articles of little value like pencils, rubbers, or even pen caps, like that. So kleptomania, irresistible desire to steal articles of little value. Pyromania, irresistible desire to set fire to things. Pyromania. What is mitylomania? Irresistible desire to mutilate animals, to destroy the animals. Mitylomania. Dipsomania. It is an irresistible desire for alcoholic drinks at periodic intervals. Dipsomania. It is an irresistible desire for alcoholic drinks. suicidal and homicidal also. It is irresistible desire to commit suicide or homicide. Trichotillomania, irresistible desire to pull out body hair. Trichotillomania, irresistible desire to pull out body hair. Next one is, what is obsession? Obsession, it is a single idea or a thought or emotion is constantly entertained by a person, but the idea is irrational. It persists in spite of all effects to drive it from his mind. So it is a disorder of thought. So any attempt by the individual to resist makes them appear more resistible. So obsession is where he has some thought and then he continuously entertained by it, even though he wants voluntarily to drive it out. So obsession is a single idea or a thought or emotion which is constantly entertained by a person, but the idea is irrational and it persists in spite of all the efforts to drive it from his mind. So this is a borderline between the sanity and insanity, and then they are able to discharge the ordinary responsibility, and there are fears associated with fear and dread. Phobias. What are phobias? Phobia is excessive or irrational fear of a situation or an object. Phobias means excessive or irrational fear of a situation or an object. What is acrophobia? Acrophobia is fear of heights. Next one is agoraphobia. Agoraphobia means fear of large and open spaces. Aviophobia, fear of flying. Claustrophobia, fear of closed spaces. So acrophobia, fear of heights. Agoraphobia, fear of large open spaces. Aviophobia, fear of flying. And claustrophobia, fear of closed spaces. Hemophobia, fear of blood. Mesophobia, fear of germs and contamination or death. Nosophobia, fear of contracting a disease. Xenophobia, fear of strangers and foreigners or aliens. So nowadays we have this, everybody has this phobia, nosophobia. So fear of contracting the COVID virus. So it is there in rampant. So nosophobia. So hemophobia is fear of blood. Mesophobia is fear of germs or contamination or dirt. Nosophobia, fear of contracting a disease. And xenophobia, fear of strangers or foreigners or aliens. So we will close here and then we will continue in the next class about the lucid interval and next thing. So if you have any doubts, you can ask me. Otherwise, we will close it.